your broken policies, your destructive policies cost my baby their life. No one is holding these people feet to the fire. The reporters aren't doing their job, because when JB Pritzker fixed his mouth to gaslight America and tell America it is Trump's fault because Trump and his mandate, he didn't meet his mandate of getting the worst of the worst out. And it's like, do you think that we don't remember that you said no ICE, you said no National Guard, you were suing the Trump administration because you did not want them in your state.
1 minute and 19 seconds for ABC, 2 minutes and 1 second for CBS, NBC, 23 seconds. Is that what her life is worth?
Her life is worth so much more than a grand total of 4 minutes, and we know that, and her parents know that, and everybody who matters to her knows that. And I also want to focus on the statements that J.B. Pritzker and Mayor Johnson released after this horrific event, because their statements also matter. Their city and state leadership, and they immediately pivoted by blaming Republicans and President Trump for her murder. And I find that shocking. No matter what side of the aisle you sit on, you know that's not true. And I cannot imagine the pain that these parents are going through. We look at her, we see her picture, and we see her as a young college student. Her parents, her mom and dad, in their mind's eye, they see a baby, they see a toddler who said the cutest things in the world, and they see a little girl, rather a young woman whose promises will never be realized.
Folks, the media, the mainstream media, are enemies of the state. We've said that multiple times on here. What are your thoughts on this, Shelley? No, barely any coverage, but we did get coverage of Savannah Guthrie. I mean, I'm sorry, I definitely am sorry that what happened to her mother, but my goodness, it was on every news station. We get hardly any information or news on these illegals committing crime.
Again, it's the what is mainstream media. It's an agenda. These young women, they can't be murdered, if you will, by an illegal, which could have been prevented, period. Their deaths could have been prevented, period, totally. It's not just that they were murdered by an illegal. No. It has to be related to Trump. Okay. And that's the minute or whatever 23 seconds that they get. They want to pump out this, again, Trump derangement syndrome, Trump, because they don't want to take responsibility and accountability for the policies that they have supported. I will say it again, my alliteration: progressive policies pulverize the people they purport to protect. When you pulverize something, you literally squash it, the life out of it. And unfortunately, we've had a number of young women in particular, but Americans in general, who have been pulverized by illegal aliens who should not have been here at all. Yes, 10 million plus came in the last 4 years. But again, I've said it before, I'm blaming everybody, Congress from way back, because all of these congressional bills and amnesty this and grandfather them this and all this, it puts Americans at risk, and we are suffering the consequences of it. I mean, I can't imagine being a parent of my child, your college age student, or even however old they are, going out, hanging out with girlfriends and coming back in a body bag. I mean, it's you can't imagine it. You cannot imagine it. I mean, but the fact that the media still makes everything about Trump, Trump derangement syndrome, they are awful. They are very low. They're just low people, a low group, if you will, a low mindset.
Again, my condolences goes out to their family, because that's just horrific. I'm 100% agreeing with Shelley in that, because as a mother, I can't even imagine sending my kids off. They're about to start life. They are excited and all of that. And your broken policies, your destructive policies cost my baby their life. That is horrible. But the worst part, and this is why we were talking about this earlier, and I said, yeah, we need to figure out how to fix this whole Smith-Mundt Act, and because this started under Obama and them repealing that so they could push out propaganda, they could keep lying to the people. No one is holding these people feet to the fire. The reporters aren't doing their job, because when JB Pritzker fixed his mouth to gaslight America and tell America it is Trump's fault because Trump and his mandate, he didn't meet his mandate of getting the worst of the worst out. And it's like, do Do you think that we don't remember that you said no ICE? You said no National Guard. You were suing the Trump administration because you did not want them in your state. If they would have come in and done their job, my poor Sheridan might have still been here. So it is your fault. And then to double down with Brandon Johnson pulling out a truck that says abolish ICE, and then to continue perpetuating the whole idea of we don't want ICE here, we don't need ICE here, after this young lady has lost their life, it is sickening. It is absolutely sickening. And I agree, I blame all of them because this is absolutely ridiculous. And to keep turning that whole orange man bad, y'all sound ridiculous. You sound truly like low information voters when you sit down here and you actually agree with the foolishness and not stand up and say, you know what? No, this is not Trump, because I've been hearing all of the time that he said to get the worst of the worst out. This is your fault, but y'all don't even want to do that. And that's sickening to me.
It is. It is. They got blood on their hands.
Yes.
These people have blood on their hands. Super chats go a long way in keeping us online. As you guys know, we don't have sponsors. We don't have commercials here. It's just you. And we thank you. This is why we do this, because we all, I can speak for me. I was a Democrat many, many years ago, and I was falling for the mainstream media lies. All right. And then I woke up to it. And then I said I wanted to do something about it. So we decided to start this channel. We wanted to get the information out to the people, and you all keep us online. This is why we turned off CNN and ABC and all these other things. And thank God there are more and more independent media is starting to sprout up. But it's the people that's keeping us going, you guys. So thank you all so much.
3-year-old Air Force veteran who was shoved onto the subway train tracks in New York City has died from his injuries. His killer? An illegal alien from Honduras who's already been deported 4 times. And I bet this is the first time you're hearing about it. Richard Williams died from his injuries on March 17th after he was pushed onto the tracks while waiting for a train at the Lexington Avenue 63rd station just before noon on March 8th. The man who shoved him was a 34-year-old illegal alien named Byron Hernandez, who was arrested 2 days later at a homeless shelter. He's been charged with second-degree murder and placed under an ICE detainer. And now an 83-year-old Air Force veteran who just 6 months ago had finally been declared cancer-free after a 5-year battle with prostate cancer is dead. This week, another illegal alien was arrested in Culpeper, Virginia, for offering money in exchange for sexually explicit pictures of little girls under the age of 10, while connecting with children through the popular online game Roblox. In Texas, Alberto Cabrera, a 27-year-old illegal alien from Colombia, was arrested for fatally slitting the throat of his 81-year-old common-law husband, Donald Wainant. And yes, I said what I said. In New York, a transgender illegal alien from Colombia wanted on robbery, prostitution, and weapons charges was sentenced to just 6 months in jail this week after he stalked a 14-year-old boy into the bathroom of a Manhattan bodega last year and molested him. He'll be set loose in April for time served. In Salt Lake City, an illegal alien named Ramirez Padilla was arrested this week for strangling a woman and slitting her throat while high on meth, then leaving her to die in an alleyway. She managed to crawl out from under the wheelbarrow he dumped her under and survived, but barely. And in Long Island, a 27-year-old Guatemalan man has been arrested by ICE this week after police say he sexually assaulted a 5-year-old girl who had been left in his care. The attack was so brutal she needed emergency surgery for her internal injuries. Guys, this is just the past 10 days, and it's not even all the stories. These are the things the media keep telling you don't. People the left aren't dangerous, but the facts are telling otherwise. We have eyes, we can see. And the bodies keep piling up. Children are being brutalized. And this country is starting to look more and more like the third world garbage dump that we're importing.
Wow. Shelley, did you know about all those illegals that committed crimes in the last 10 days? Did you know about that?
I knew about the 83-year-old vet, and I think one other one, but no, not all of those. Absolutely not, and certainly not in the last 10 days. I heard this journalist, and I think his name is something Ventura. I want to say Jorge Ventura. He's a journalist, credible journalist. He made a statement. I got to go back and look at my history to see what I was watching. But he made a statement because he's been investigating, or his topic has been on illegal immigration for a long time, particularly from South America. But he made a comment, and it just, I kind of like, what? How did he say that? Something to the effect of Haitian immigrants they came in through California. Now I'm thinking, if you got, your geography, Haiti is over here. How the hell did they come up through California to cross the border illegally? Which means they had to either swim across the ocean to get to South America and then go up the West Coast, if you will, to get to California. And his whole point was basically this. We don't know as a country, we don't know the half of basically the hell and horror that has come across our borders in the last, let's say 4 to 7 years. We don't know the half of it. He was talking about sleeper cells as well, violent criminals. Yeah, the ones that we quote unquote catch, we know about, right? But we don't know the hell that we have allowed into our country and the crimes that have yet to be discovered.
I may have known maybe 3 or 4, and that's only because I spent a lot of time on X. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, I probably wouldn't have known about any of those things. And that is where the problem lies, because they do what they do to make sure that we don't know that. And then you have the senator from Connecticut, Chris Murphy, which we were talking about earlier, who says he let it be known, the Democratic senator, we only care, the people that we truly care about are the undocumented Americans, or AKA illegal immigrants. And so he said the quiet part out loud, the part that they don't want Americans to really hear. And this is why I said when people were upset, or they felt a type of way on the left, when President Trump said the government's first job at the State of the Union is to protect the citizens. That should have been something for everyone when the Democrats refused to stand up and cheer for that, because realistically, that is your job. But what the Democrats are showing everyone is no, they don't care about the American citizens. They care about the illegal immigrants. And I want people to understand that their care for the legal immigrants, you all are paying for it. We are all paying for it by the people, the children that are being lost, the women that are being lost, the children that are being brutalized. That man got through being a veteran, got through cancer, and lost his life just trying to catch a train. That's absolutely ridiculous. And we have to hold these people accountable. All of them. They need to be held accountable. And the last thing I'll say before I land my plane, this should make Americans mad.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why. Did you hear how these people are going in and getting out in 6 months, going in and getting out in 2 months, and getting probation for some heinous crimes? If Americans do something, you are in jail. You forget just being in jail. You're under the jail. You were there for a good 20, 30, 40, 50 years. These people are just going in and coming right back out. That should take every American off, because they're showing you these people have special privileges. They can come here, commit the crimes, be abusive to the American people, take the lives of American people, and be able to walk out scot-free and enjoy their lives.
Folks, and what really, really ticks me off, but then it's also a little scary. It's unnerving to me, is how this is intentional. Okay. This is not a matter of the Democrats wanting to help illegals who are being persecuted in their countries, or, just letting a few in. Folks, under Joe Biden, under his presidency after Trump, he rolled back Trump era enforcement policies. He rolled them back when he first came in. If you recall, okay, they are intentionally. He intentionally opened the border. Okay, this was not just a little bit or by chance. He intentionally did this. The Democrats, this is their agenda, is to have open borders. All right. So this is why we had these historic surges. So if this is their intention, then we got to ask, well, why? Well, because they want to change the country. They want to cause chaos in the United States so that they can usher in a new nation order and, of course, a new world order. This is what they want to do. And I don't understand why every Republican in Congress is not running on this issue alone. alone. This is the foundation of it all. We won't have a country if they're concerned. If they get their way, I should say. If they get their way, we will not have a country. And every patriot needs to be upset about this.
Right.